Welcome to Millionaire Before the Age of 30, where we are on a mission.
That is right. We are on a mission to give you guys the exact blueprint of how to become a millionaire before 30 years old. I'm Ryan Zolan.
I'm Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and we're joined back again. He was gone last week, but he's here today. Albert Bowie. Albert, how are you,
I'm
bud?
back. I'm fantastic. Good to be back in the Valley of the Sun. It's hot, but I'm here for it.
Well, and you guys closed 2 deals this week, which are absolutely phenomenal. You guys got another one going live.
Yep, just went live today.
How's that progress on your big 1.9?
1.9. I'm hoping to touch a 2. It's fantastic. I was there all day yesterday doing the little details, getting things done, because as you know, in the last little bits of a flip, a lot of things can get away from you.
That's it.
Honed it in. We're going good.
Awesome. I want to start with this. This is really interesting. I'm reading this book right here. It's absolutely fantastic. And it's not written by Naval, which he's been on Joe Rogan. He kind of puts out his own podcast. He's really big on Twitter. He's a very wealthy entrepreneur, and he's got some really interesting perspectives on how to make sure that you actually enjoy your time as an entrepreneur and enjoy wealth. And this is really interesting, and I think it fits perfectly with our theme of Millionaire Before 30 and really taking your, that 18 or even earlier, but usually about 18 to 30, that time frame right there, and not getting discouraged when people tell you you're too young. Listen to this, all right? The most common bad advice I hear is you're too young. Most of history was built by young people. They just got credit when they were older. The only way to truly learn something is by doing it. Yes, listen to guidance, but don't wait. This is not to say it's easy. It's not easy. It's actually really freaking hard. It is the hardest thing you will do, but it's also rewarding. Look at the kids who are born rich. They have no meaning to their lives. Your real resume is just a catalog of all of your suffering. If I ask you to describe your life, real life to yourself, and you look back from your deathbed at the interesting things you've done, it's all going to be around the sacrifices you made, the hard things you did. However, anything you've given doesn't matter. You have your 4 limbs, your brain, your head, your skin. That's all taken for granted. You have to do the hard things anyway to create your own meaning in life. Making money is a fine thing to choose. Go struggle. It is hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's really hard, but the tools are available. It's all out there.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think that's amazing. I like the part where you talk about like how the people that have come from money, how it's more that they don't understand it. They don't understand the value of a dollar. They have no understanding of like what life could be. And like you said with sacrifice, I think that's one thing that not enough people talk about, especially on shows like this even. You have to sacrifice in order to be successful.
That's it.
It's not going to be just handed to you. And if it is, you didn't deserve it and earn it, meaning that you're not going to be able to sustain it long term.
Change is hard.
Absolutely.
And it should be hard. Because that's how you get the reward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like you're building up towards a goal and building up towards a goal, and you're doing things that are difficult, because if it wasn't difficult, everybody would already have that goal. You wouldn't want any change. And then you'd have to find something else that was difficult to go after, to change and to grow and to build and evolve and really make this life something that's very, very, very interesting and exciting.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I absolutely love that. And that's part of why we put together the 75-day Wholesale Real Estate Challenge, was really just to challenge people to actually go out there and take action. It's all great, but this is not the time for education. This is not this is for implementation. This is for execution.
Action, absolutely.
Go out there and actually make a difference in your community by being loud and being excited and going out there and bringing energy and enthusiasm to all of these. Every single deal that we do, right? We have to have a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely.
And we have a choice when we have a conversation with everybody that we come across with. We have the choice to bring good energy and enthusiasm and optimism and kindness, or we can go the other way. We can go with our fears. We can go with our ego. We can go with negativity or pessimism. And which way do you want to choose, right?
For sure. Absolutely.
There's one clear path that works.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's being optimistic, and it's going out there and taking action every single day. So let's bring up the 75-day challenge. Let's go through it. And then I want to hear from you guys. I want to know, how far along in this process have you been? I know Stephanie Hunt sends us and posts a video every single day of her progress. It's absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen that on YouTube and you want a little kick in the pants, go see what Stephanie Hunt is posting on YouTube every single day. And she is raw and real and incredible. So 75-day challenge. Let's put this up here. Building your confidence, impact your community, and achieve financial freedom. Number one, this plan will work if I do.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start from a place of confidence.
Yep.
Confidence and kindness. Confidence and kindness. You have to start with this. This plan will work if I do. The fact is, this isn't just some theory. This is absolute proven fact. If you talk to enough people that own ugly houses, you cannot lose.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And number 2, block out 15 hours a week. This needs to be focused, distraction-free time that you're going to dedicate to pulling lists, making calls, or knocking on doors. What I'm reading with all of that is you're taking action with money-making activities.
Yep.
These are things that are actually going to get you closer to getting a deal rather than working on your logo or your branding, your company name, all that fun stuff. But then from there, you need to be proactive in finding distressed properties and contacting the owners. When you're starting, deals do not just come to you. You need to understand that what you put into this business is what you're going to get out of it. So for 15 hours a week to start, I think that's almost insultingly low, but I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to get your foot in the door and start taking action.
That's right. If you need any guidance, any step-by-step, anything that you think that you are missing, TTP Insider, check it out, completely free. There's resources and toolbox there. Check it out. Number 3, who you spending time with, right? Who are you spending time with? I read the great quote in this, and it talks about it in this. If you want to go short, if you want to go a short distance, go by yourself. If you want to go long term, you need to squat up.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely.
That's it. The more that you find is the people that think long term are the people that you really want to surround yourself with. Now, listen, we put together a short-term plan. This is just a little sprint to get warmed up. This is to get the engine filled with a lot of fuel so that you are going down and building momentum in your business. But this is long term. This is just to set up the disciplines in your business so that you're actually starting to take action. Because what you'll find is you're going to feel really, really, really amazing when you start taking action, and you need to be surrounded by people that are also taking that action. So make sure that you're squatting up in the comments section, guys.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Number 4, get lean and cut spending. Remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And right now, you don't need to be focused on going to the fancy dinners. You don't need the watches. You don't need to go out for the bottle service. You don't need to go and try to impress people that you don't like with money you don't have. What you need to do is you need to save the money, and you need to focus on reinvesting it back into your business as you're growing this from the start. We have later down in the challenge one of the steps that you're going to be able to reward yourself, but the most important thing here is to get lean. Do not spend the money.
That's right. Talk to 200 homeowners. That's your goal. In 75 days, talk to 200 property owners. These are property owners that are showing some signs of distress. These are, you're driving around town and you're building up your list of properties that need a lot of work. That's called driving for dollars. You're building that up. You're talking to all the tired landlords, all the people that don't live in the properties, but they've owned these properties for a while and they're in rough shape. We're talking about vacant properties. We're talking about properties that are in pre-foreclosures, all of those. Remember, there's 142 million residential properties in the United States. We're looking for that 6 to 10% that are in distress at all times. And we know that. That's statistics. So go after it.
Absolutely. This one's one of my favorites. Number 6, visit 3 open houses a week. I was driving, I think it was a couple weeks ago with Amber, and we went down one road. How many open houses do you think I saw? It was down Higley, to give it any context.
On a major street?
Yep.
All the signs for it? I don't know, 5, 10?
11.
Nice.
So there was 11 open houses on one street that I'm talking about going down on Main Road. If you take one day, and this was a Saturday, that's typically when most open houses are, and you go and you visit them, remember, you're going in, you're talking to the agents, and you're asking them for help with finding more properties. There was somebody that DM'd me the other week, and they said they went to an open house, and they ended up sending a text to me, and they're like, yo, did you know that I went to this open house, and I just told them I was looking for help? Now they're sending me a bunch of properties, and I'm like, it is that easy.
That's it.
Like literally that easy.
That's it.
Face-to-face relationships. So visit 3 open houses a week.
You have a $500 budget when you close these deals. All right, I want you to celebrate. I really do. I think there's something exciting about it. I want you to put something out there that's under $500 budget. That's a reward that you're going to reward yourself with. Now, listen, if you're analytical and you're like, well, I'm going to keep it all and I'm going to invest it into here and I'm going to make sure that I don't get over my skis and I want to make sure that I pay off some debt and do this and this, I get it. Reward yourself a little bit. I'm telling you, it's going to feel really good and it's going to prevent you from that $50,000 reward that you're going to try to do here in about a year when your company's going bananas. All right? So, I mean, just keep it small, under $500, but give yourself a reward.
Absolutely.
It's gonna satiate that impulse that you have.
Absolutely. Number 8, squat up with 5 people regularly. Now, this is going to be so important because you are who you surround yourself with. If only there was a show that was live right now that we had the ability for you to comment and work with at least 5 people. I mean, you guys, right now in the comments, you could be going through and talking to each other. I challenge all of you watching this right now, put in the comments, where are you from?
Yep.
Reach out to people in other markets, even if they're not local. If they're succeeding, ask how they can be of service to you and how you can be of service to them. Create a win-win relationship. Understand you could use his YouTube channel. You could use my Discord. You could use meetups. You could use Facebook groups. Social media and getting loud will attract people and you'll become a magnet. You need 5 people to be around you.
That's it. Be loud on social media. Document what you're doing. If you go with energy, enthusiasm, and authenticity, and you turn your phone around and actually use it as a tool instead of an entertainment device, which, listen, I love it. I love it as an entertainment device. I get it. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. It's dope. It's crazy. It's amazing the portals that you can go down on your phone. But for 5 minutes a day, turn it around and let people know that you're driving to look for housing opportunities, that you're looking for properties that you can do something special with, that you're pulling comps for the first time, that you're nervous about an appointment that you're going on. You're going to update everybody on how it went. Like, be loud. People will cheerlead you. People will find you when they see that you're doing something exciting and you do it consistently and you have some energy and a sparkle in your eyes. So go out there, be loud on social media.
Absolutely. And then lastly, spend time taking care of yourself. Like, what was it you were saying the other day about home base, taking care of home?
Yeah, you got to, well,
clean your
first
house.
of all, you got to keep your house clean.
Keep your house clean.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yep.
So you need to make sure that you understand that if you're not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of your business. So as it says on here, whether you choose to meditate, read books, or get a heavy workout in at the gym, taking care of your mind and body is a crucial aspect of being successful in life and business. Prioritizing your health naturally aligns with many other things in your life.
That's it.
So
awesome.
It's that simple, guys.
That's it. So let us know where you are at on the 75-day challenge. If you're just getting started today, let us know. If you've been into it, let us know of your success. We want to celebrate you. We want to ring the victory bell for the actions that you're out there taking.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get into the comments section, before we get into questions, we're going to be bringing, by the way, guys, just to let you know, we're going to be bringing you on. We're going to put a link in here so that you can come on and we can have a conversation and actually see your face, which has been absolutely incredible for the last, on our Monday show, a Wholesale Hotline, the Wednesday show, Ugly Houses, Big Checks, and now with Millionaire Before 30. So stick around and make sure for that link. We'll put it out earlier. Let's put it out at about the... You're going to put it out now? Okay,
Let's go.
All right, great.
Let's go.
So we'll put it in there now.
We'll sprinkle people in.
Yeah, we'll sprinkle people in. That's fantastic. But let me hit you with this, and let me get your guys' thoughts, Albert and Ryan. Alex Hermosi came out with a great podcast. He's got a podcast called The Game, and he does a really good job, high level. He started with nothing, built up his company all through internet marketing, all through high ticket sales, and sold the company, made a ton of money. Anyway, he has 3 thoughts on how he knows if somebody's going to be rich or not, and wealthy or not. And I think it's very interesting, and I want to go through these 3 things because it stuck. It was like, yes, bro. Yes, every single one of these, I was like, that's exactly right. The first one is the units of money that people talk about. If you're complaining about a $2 increase in gas, that's a different conversation than millionaires are having, right? Because if you look at, okay, what's the difference? Oh, okay, well, it's $1,200 more this year. Come on. We're talking about building $1 million companies, and people are complaining and taking the time to complain about gas prices. I get it. Like, we get it, right? It's just out there. but it's like units of measurement. When we talk about it, that's why this it really hit me, because I talk about when you do a $50,000 deal, it breaks your brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you're starting to use different units of measurement. You're starting to talk about money differently.
Yep.
You're not talking about things in thousands.
Yep.
You're talking about tens of thousands.
Yep.
And once you get to 50, all of a sudden you start talking about things in hundreds of thousands.
Correct.
And that's the people that you want to talk to. Those are the people that you want to be around. That's the person you want to be, is the people that are talking first in tens of thousands, then 50s, and then hundreds,
Yep.
right? And then prove it to yourself by actually going out there and providing value. I used to write down every single day, I'm going to make $10,000 today, $10,000 today. My company does well over that every single day. But it comes because you start thinking in different units of measurement.
For sure.
What do you think?
I think that's absolutely genius, because that you just made me go down memory lane here. When I did my first flip, I was freaking out over 50, hundreds of dollars, and now I don't fret over 500, 600. I think about tens of thousands of dollars in savings or expenses, and it goes back to just us as humans, where we only have a finite amount of energy to make decisions.
Yep.
So why are you wasting it on, oh, should I buy this gas that's 10 cents cheaper here, or just fill it up here and get on with my day?
That's it. And I truly believe, like when I talk to students that are talking in 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, I know that they're going to crush.
Yep.
I know that they're already thinking that way. It's in your mind. It's the way that you think. It turns into your subconscious, and then you start taking action on all these things because you expect bigger things all the time.
Yep.
When you expect bigger things, you find bigger things.
You are what you attract.
You don't get what you want, you get what you attract.
Yep.
That's the absolute fact.
Yep.
Number 2 is you need to have fast response for business progression on the micro things. When things are texting you, when there is an email, and it is something that is going to move the ball forward in your business, you need to be fast. Alejandra and I had this conversation yesterday. We are like, boom, we're unless I'm on the show, the response on text is fast, right?
Oh yeah. For
Right?
Sure.
How important is that?
So I think this was I'm glad you brought this up. This is one of the things that I had as like an eye-opener when I first got in real estate that I think really was a difference maker between me and the average person. I was able to respond to things super quick.
Yep.
Part of it was that I was super young and I was very like just on my phone 24/7, so I could respond like it was really easy.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that now that's one of the biggest compliments that I get from people is how attentive I am to communication and even just being present with them and their understanding of it. So even as I've gotten busier and like people are more like, okay, well, I know you're a busy guy. I'm like, doesn't matter. If I don't respond, send me another text by the end of the day. I'll get back to you.
Right.
Responses are everything.
Yep. Number 3, long-term vision.
Yep.
Right? People that are rich, people that are wealthy, it's a long-term vision. It is not snatch and grab. It's not.
No.
It's long-term, and they surround themselves with long-term thinkers. When you're putting together a business, you understand that it takes 3, 5, 7 years for it to truly, really take off and to really get that momentum going.
For sure.
And it's exciting. It's exciting on this show because if you start younger, it happens faster. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can start any time. It doesn't matter in that sense, but it just depends on how long of a runway do you have left.
For sure.
And we're not guaranteed anything. We're guaranteed today. We're alive. We're not guaranteed anything in the future. We think that we are. I mean, it's nice to think of when we're young, but we're not guaranteed that, right? But you still have to plan for it.
Absolutely.
You have to plan for this to take a long time and actually enjoy the ride. You find a lot of people that go and they build these companies and then they sell it and they make a ton of money. They love these projects that take a lot of time and that they can massage and they can put their own personality into. They can put the right people in place to really, grow something special.
For sure. I 100% agree. I think the people that fail the fastest are usually the ones that think they can get to something, regardless if it's real estate or not, but it's a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll challenge it on a little bit. Sometimes it works. Hey, listen, sometimes you can buy GameStop.
For sure.
Sometimes you can buy AMC stock.
For sure.
It goes bananas.
Yep.
You make 40, 50, 60,000 bucks or whatever.
Right.
And then is it repeatable?
That's what I was just going to say. It's not, there's no longevity.
Is it predictable?
No.
Right?
That's not a business.
So
though.
it's not a business. That's just a quick influx of
I could go to the
cash.
casino and throw up 100,000 on
Right.
the slots, and maybe you pull 250 to 500. Who knows?
That would be a long time at slots.
Trust me, that was a terrible
great
analogy.
day at the
Terrible
slots.
analogy. I was trying to go
Oh,
like
man.
the route of like blackjack poker. That
Poker,
just
yeah.
like it, yeah.
I
We
think
ended
it'd
up
be
at slots.
more fun at slots. I mean,
You got more
they're
longevity.
shiny and it's
Yeah.
loud, and it's you get to meet interesting older gals.
I just saw. Jeez. I just saw one that somebody won like $40 million on a slot, and
Yeah.
they didn't pay him.
I saw
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some girl, and they said like, "Oh no, the machine broke." And I was,
Yeah, sue me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, but that's it. Units of money. Really think bigger. Thinking bigger units of money. If you're just starting out, it's tens of thousands. Get that going. Get that first 5-figure check, and then start building it up so that it's 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. Get to that 6-figure checks, and then all of a sudden you're having. That's when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
really building the wealth. Really building. And getting rich at first, and then taking that money and putting it into assets to be wealthy.
for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. So, units of money, fast response as a business, in your business, be very quick, and have long-term vision.
I love it.
Yep. I thought that was really, really, really cool. So
You
there
hit
you
the
go.
points all in the head. I agree with every single one of them. I was thinking about that as you're saying that out loud, and every single person that I've been fortunate to talk to in this space all hit those 3 points. They think long term. It's not, oh, hey, it's when this house sells. It's, hey, what's the end of the year look like? What does next year look like? And then it's tens of thousands of dollars, like you said, and it's just being quick with it. I think that's the huge one that pivots a lot of people in this business. It's how fast do you respond to changing conditions?
Yeah, and I think that there's a word of caution whenever you read these books, or you listen to Alex Hormozi, or you listen to a Grant Cardone, or you listen to a Gary Vee, or you listen to some of these guys that are super, super, super high achievers. They've got they've already built up a lot of wealth. And they talk about how they can say no to a lot of things because hourly they get paid $5,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour, all
Right.
of those things. They've earned that.
Right.
Yes.
Do not implement when you're in your hustle season and somebody is not in their hustle season because they've already hustled and they've already built this business and they have a business that serves them. They're in a different place. When they're talking about all these things, they're talking about it from a perspective of already have won. Okay? This is a victory lap. You know what I'm saying? They already trained. They went in. They did all the hard work. They built the skills. They went bananas for a long time. They made a lot of sacrifices. They put in the hard work for 5 to 7 to 10 years. All of them.
Yep.
I'm telling you. All of them. So if you're in that season, don't read this and be like, well, I'm worth $5,000 an hour right now, and so I'm going to just hire people to do all these other things so that I can just think about ideas all the time. Put the work in. It's not that time yet. It's not that time yet. You need to build up your momentum. That's not to say that you can't start thinking of the units of money and speaking the units of money, but you still need to be going out and doing it.
Correct.
Like I wrote down, I'm going to make $10,000 today, but it doesn't happen unless I picked up the phone.
For sure.
Right.
Every single day. It led to the action.
For sure.
You want this to lead to the action and actually look at this as a business and not just self-employment and not just being an employee. But in the beginning, you're an employee.
Yep.
In the beginning, you have to treat it like a job. You have to go in. You got to put in your work. You got to, and it's even more. Because you're going to get paid a lot less than you would from an already
Sacrifice.
established business.
Yep.
You're gonna actually make less when you make that transition to self-employment. You're going to treat it like a job. You're going to grind it out until that 90, 120 days when you start building momentum. And then you got to stay focused on doing all the things that you did in that 90 to 120 days that got you there, instead of going bananas and starting to hire people and starting to, get a lot of shine from people that are like, oh, you closed this deal, you did that, and you posted on Instagram. Now everybody's hitting you up. Will you mentor me? Will you tell me all these things? Stop. Hustle season.
Yep.
Go get in your hustle season. Build your business. I'm telling you, you can build an unbelievable real estate business first and then pull yourself out of it. And that's when you start going. Right?
Mic drop.
I mean, that's that. And I'm getting like, I'm putting a lot of enthusiasm behind this because I went through that. I would read these books and I was like, of course.
It makes so much sense.
Of course. I mean, that's exactly where I'm at right now. Totally broke. Totally broke. Yes, of course. That's exactly how I feel. That's how entrepreneurs think. In our minds, we're like, yeah, of course. I just want to skip right there. I should be there.
Right.
I deserve this.
I put in 2
It's
weeks.
like an entitlement. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's an incredible entitlement that we have in our own minds, which is an advantage, but it can also be the thing that really makes us, it holds us back and makes this thing take a lot longer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Spot on.
Yeah. So there you go. My rant for this Thursday is complete, but I think it's really important that don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 50. You know what I mean? You're not Warren Buffett right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're not some, big time real estate developer yet. But every single one of those people started
right where
in
you
their
are.
hustle season.
Absolutely. Yep.
Even if you started at rock bottom, it's a strong foundation. Yep. Awesome. Let's crack this thing open. We have some questions. We have some celebrations. What do we got? All right. Juan Alejandro got my first deal, $15,000 check. Let's go. Ring that bell.
Let's go.
How does that affect? Because you push this thing back a little bit. Is that microphone going to just explode? Okay. Sorry for your ears, guys. These, they like it. They like it. Okay. They like it. Okay. Congratulations, Juan. Keep it going. Just got $2,500 from helping find a buyer. First time making money from real estate. Appreciate all the. Woo! Jose, congratulations,
Let's
brother.
go.
Ring that bell.
Let's go.
Ring that bell. Here we go. That is absolutely incredible. $2,500 right there. I'm telling you. Now, let's add a 0 to that, Jose. You know what I'm talking about. Big units, baby. Big units. 25,000 next time. Let's go. That's awesome. I love it. I was planning, Stephanie, there she is. I was planning a birthday party, and all I could hear was Ryan saying, be lean, be lean, be lean.
Costco cake, baby. Let's go.
Costco cake.
Feeds a lot. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Listen, celebrate. You don't have to spend money to celebrate, Stephanie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just be around the people that love you and have a little bit of fun and good conversation.
Yep.
I find the best parties are the ones that are the cheapest ones, to be honest.
Heck yeah.
It's that impromptu Friday little happy hour at the house type of thing, or get together on a Saturday morning. So, yeah, that's awesome. Be lean. Be lean. Be lean. It's awesome. Jacob, how do we show our track record of past assignment wholesale deals that we have done to cash buyer investor hedge funds? PDF links. Why would you have to show that?
Yeah, you don't need to show that.
You don't have to show any of that. What you show is opportunities that you have locked up, Jacob. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares about your track record. They care about, do you have this deal? Is it your deal? Is it locked up? Mm-hmm. And then if you go with confidence and kindness, certainty and likability, right? Either way you want to put that, and you're on the phone with them.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. You got credibility instantly.
Yeah.
Stand up. It's your posture. Like, really, it's your posture. Like, your emotional posture is so important in this business. Just have strong emotional posture.
That's it.
You got this, Jacob. You're already out there. Go out there, find these opportunities, and put it in front of people. Remember, like, they want these deals. They survive off these deals. Okay? Awesome. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
I wonder if that's a real picture, if it's like a stock photo. If that's a real picture, that's awesome. Great technique.
All right.
Strong back leg, knee coming up, perfect. That's a Muay Thai there. With your social media marketing, who is your target audience? Is it buyers, sellers, or lenders? Are you using social media for leads, educating your followers behind the scenes of your business?
It's a great question.
That's a great question.
We primarily work to spread the message. When we talk about being loud, like I can speak on what we do, like my team, we're trying to build a network of people and relationships. So that's a mixture of all the above, but primarily it's buyers that are wanting to buy properties from us. Mm-hmm. It's people that would want to be a part of our community. And then obviously lenders come with that just by natural default. Like they're going to come in and say, well, I usually say you have one of three things you can come to the table with. You can either come to the table with a deal, willingness to work for free or at a discount, or with money. If you have one of those three things, which lenders typically come in and they'll say, hey, well, I have 50,000, I have 100,000, or even more than that. What can I do with that with you? That's value you're bringing to the table. So when we get loud, we're just trying to obviously do those three things, and then in a mix of educating our followers as well. What about you?
Yeah, Top Chef. I have two businesses, right? I have my wholesale business, and then I have my coaching business. So from a social media standpoint, In my wholesale business, we run some Facebook ads. I do that through the Bateman Collective. He's been running my pay-per-click and my Facebook ads for a while now. Does a phenomenal job. Don't have a huge budget with that. It's about $15,000 a month. On my coaching side, we do a lot of YouTube. We try to pull people in that have never seen what we do into our YouTube channel and into TTP Insider to get free resources. And if they like it, they stick around and we do business with them. So from a social media standpoint, for if you're going to be trying to use that to get deals like distressed property owners, I would not start that way. I mean, you can, if you know it really well, you can start throwing some money at it and seeing if you can get some leads. But if you're waiting around for those leads, it's going to take you a long time to build your business.
For sure.
A long time to build your business, and it's very expensive in major markets. I mean, we're talking anywhere from probably $7,000 to $10,000 per deal in marketing costs through Facebook and Instagram. So just think about that, and if you have the budget, go for it. If you got that budget, go bananas. You know what I mean? If you have the systems in place and you really want to go deep. Here's the thing. You either are marketing to get people to call you, you're getting referrals from trusted sources that are giving you these opportunities, or you're proactive and you're going out there and you're prospecting. You're either door knocking or picking up the phone and calling. And it just depends on what strategy you want. But I highly suggest that you go with one and go very, very, very deep with it before you go wide. Get really, really, really good at one and then move on. Because if you're trying to do it, if you go to any RIA meeting, if you go to any meetup, if you go to your guys' meetup and you go talk to people that aren't doing deals, they're doing social media ads, they're doing mailers, they're kind of door knocking. Sometimes they send out texts.
Or they're studying.
Every once in a while, huh?
Or they're just studying.
Or they're studying.
Yep.
Yeah. They're in the education loop.
Yep.
Education is phenomenal to build your confidence, but once you know that it's just a numbers game, ugly houses equal big checks, that's as much education as you need. Just go out and talk to them.
Yep.
If you need help knowing what to say, then TTP Insider. TTPinsider.com. Check it out.
From Preston, for your numbers, when you are trying to have 50 conversations per day, does that include the conversations where they are not interested or hang up on you? No, we do it off of like actual conversation. So I feel like you put it in there, 50 conversations per day. It's 50 conversation. If they hung up on you or they answered and you didn't have a conversation, it doesn't count to us.
Yeah, if they say no, I count it. If they just as soon as they answered click, then no. But if you get if they know why you're calling and you have a conversation, that adds to your one deal out of 200.
Yeah.
But if it's just an instant click and they're not really answering, then you didn't get the opportunity to tell them what you do.
Conversations.
So, yeah. And conversations could be quick, Preston. But yeah, the 200 that I talk about all the time, and the 300, you're gonna have longer conversations with agents off the bat. But they're gonna hit you with a lot of different questions, a lot of different hurdles that they want you to jump through. Got our first pop in here. Enzo, you're getting on here, brother. We're going to ring the victory bell for you here with your face on the screen. 73,000. Get him on here. Add him on here. Enzo!
Let's go.
Hey.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're closing today.
$73,000.
Yes, sir.
How'd you get that deal?
Driving for dollars.
Okay.
We spoke to them. I mean, this has been probably almost 8 months in the works. And when we closed on it, we actually did a lease back because of how great of a deal we did.
Sure.
And she stayed there. She was planning to stay there for 3 months. We helped her so much that we narrowed that timeline to 45 days.
Yep.
Got a hedge fund buyer in there. And we're gonna pay $1,000 to the real estate agent that kind of helped us out, but we're gonna net $72,000 after that.
I love it. And did you call them? Did you text them? Did you mail them? How did you have the first conversation?
Calling. We've been speaking. We're speaking with the sister. The brother lived in there. The brother wasn't taking care of the property as much as she wanted it to. It's a very sentimental property because she grew up in that house. So it really was hurting her that her brother wasn't keeping up with it.
Sure.
We started talking with her. We made sure we gave her the value for the house. And yeah, we just locked it up. It was, it's the biggest deal we've ever done. It literally doubled our net for the year.
Yep.
Wow,
And let me ask you this. So, first of all, what market are you in?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. You're doing a 7. That's the biggest deal ever done in St. Louis, bro.
You know, and I was listening to one of your calls, and one of your cold callers got a really good lead in St. Louis, and I heard, damn, Brent is in St. Louis now. Like,
no, that was just they sent that in. Call Motivated Sellers. They send me like some top stuff just because I got a good relationship with them. So I'm not in there, but somebody is. So whoever they were calling for is in there. So that congratulate $73,000. How does it feel mentally? Like, have you ever received that big of a check before?
No.
Right.
It's surreal. It really is. It's kind of almost unbelievable. But the amount of just, I guess, mental free up and just financial just capacity of now to really just dive into this business a lot more. It really, because when you're getting $10,000 deals, $15,000 deals, that's really cool. But like when you get a deal like this, it, like you said, it broke our brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and that's what it is. You have different units of money now. You know what I mean? It's just a different thought when you close something that's you're going to net $72,000 and it's real and it's in your life and it's tangible. You hear other people do it and other people, show it, but when you actually get it yourself, that's everything. It's the best. So let's ring this victory bell for you, brother. Here we go.
Thank you so much, guys.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Can we answer anything, or are we just celebrating?
Well, no, I mean, you guys always answer all the questions. You guys,
awesome.
Just listening to the questions, it's really answering a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Enzo. Thank you for participating on here and sharing. Make sure, guys, if you're in St. Louis, to squad up with Enzo. He's doing amazing things out there, obviously. So make sure that you squad up with him in the side chat. And if you're watching this later and you're not live on here, just try to reach out to him through YouTube and connect. There's always some way, or find him on Instagram.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome.
He's one of our agent investor students. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's crushing it.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
awesome. How can people learn more about that? Do we have a little ticker for that or no? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Agent investor course. Daniels and Zolan, what's good? How much earnest money deposit you recommend putting down for deals from agents? Great question.
That's a really good question. So a lot of times what agents are trained is to get 1% of the purchase price.
Yep.
So if it's a $500,000 house, it's $5,000. Now be mindful. I mean, we have had deals that are $1.5 million that we've put up $2,000.
Mm-hmm. It's
all subject for negotiation. Just be mindful going into it what the agent's expectations are.
Yep. Well, and Jose, here's the thing. It depends on if they're getting it on market or if this is off market.
Correct.
You know, if they're going direct to the seller, they can have conversations and say, hey, listen, you know, this seller, earnest money isn't like a big thing for them. So, you know, just put in $1,000 or whatever else. But typically it's going to be 1% with an agent.
Correct.
And that's how they're going to feel good and they're going to feel comfortable. But sometimes they're just like, yeah, whatever. And you'd say, listen, I just want to put $100 or $500, depending on the price point, depending on your market. You may be able to figure that out, to get that done.
Yes,
so
sir.
Awesome. What do we got? No more questions. Okay, easy peasy. So we talked about something that you wanted to talk about, and you were talking about kind of what was going on, what have been the changes now with hedge funds, what's been the changes going on with putting offers in, with this
market, even
this ever-flowing market, like what's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, we've seen so much change happen even in the last like 30 days.
Yeah.
Like I remember 4 months ago we had done a show and I told you there was 2,000 active listings.
Yeah.
We broke over 10,000 listings, which, let me put things into perspective. A healthy market out here is 28 to 30,000 active listings. So when I'm saying we broke 10,000, Okay, we're still in a seller's market.
Yeah.
The only thing that's happening is that you're not able to sell it for 20% higher than you should have in a normal market.
Right.
You're not getting 50 offers day one.
Yeah.
You may get a few showings. You may get an offer day 1, 2, or 3 even. And so we're having to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of strategic things you could do while active listings are starting to rise.
Yeah.
What we've actually done, and where I'm seeing a lot of people that are doing these strategies go wrong, is that in the past we've said, write as many offers as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, when there's only 2,000, write as many as possible because you're competing against 50 other people that are going
Sure.
towards the same ones.
Yeah.
As there's more active listings, you need to be more mindful and even more specific to quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily matter about just offer. You need to get precise as to what your buyers are looking for, what the hedge funds are looking for, what you as your own buyer are looking for. Like, that's where our strategy has changed even in the last week. Now, part of it is that our transaction coordinator is across the world, but as we're doing that, we're like, okay, we need to figure out.
What do you mean across the world? What does that mean?
She's in Europe, traveling around. She went from
Got it.
London
So
to.
it's not like a virtual assistant that lives in.
No. Like literally,
Egypt or
Amber
something.
is across the world.
Yeah.
She is literally.
I'm
For the people, Alejandra. Yeah, so yeah, she's literally across the world. So
Yeah.
we're trying to be a little bit more mindful, obviously, not to bombard her with offers.
Right.
But we're trying more like 5 to 7 offers as a team per day.
Yeah.
But those 5 to 7 are ones that we're writing that we're very, very specific, knowing it's a hedge fund, or we'll commit to it, or it's what our end buyers are looking for.
Awesome.
The feedback we've gotten even from our end buyers is that they're either holding off for the next 30 to 45 days while the market kind of shifts. And if they're gonna buy, it's got to be so steep.
Yeah.
So buying on market, I think that the next 30 to 45 days, and I will get up here and I will tell you guys this little secret, the next 30 to 45 days is such a window of opportunity for MLS deals.
Yeah.
As the inventory is still rising, it's still a seller's market, but what's going to happen? As they're not able to sell the property and get 50 offers day one, sellers start to sweat. Agents that aren't marketing start to sweat. There's motivation being created for you by offers not coming in. So it's really just figuring out what the situation is of the seller and call the agents. Call them.
Yeah, agents are in a weird spot because every seller's like, hey, I want 10% more and I want there to be 15 offers because I got to brag about my house. My house is amazing.
For sure.
And I got to brag to all my friends and I got to brag on social media how many offers we have to go through on our house and it's got to be amazing. And so that's their expectations.
Yep.
And then they go, okay, I'm going to interview agents. And agents come in, they're like, okay, this is kind of what we're seeing in trends. There's not as many offers going on, whatever else, right? You got that honest real estate agent that's like, yeah, like this is there's changes here. And then you have that agent that will do anything for this deal and be like, I am gonna blow this thing out of the water. You're gonna have so many offers. Let's put it at, let's go shoot for the moon with the price. List with me. This is gonna be bananas.
Right.
And then so they overprice the listing. They put it on the MLS. They have overshot the expectations. And so when it hits the market and there's no offers. Woo, the pride and ego, not only of the seller, but also of the agent,
Absolutely.
starts getting a little nervous. Once there's a crack in it, all of a sudden, they're going to start looking at other, wait a second. Do we need to lower the price? Did we make a mistake here? How do we get this thing done? And that's what you're saying in the next 30, 45 days.
I think there's such a
make
window.
more offers.
Such a window of opportunity and not
Why
more
30,
offers.
45 days? Why not the next year?
Because I think what's going to happen in the next 30, 45 days, and I left my crystal ball at home. But
You did.
But I think
I told you to bring it.
I don't want
What
to.
did
Got it.
Albert.
I got it. It's
Yeah.
in the backseat of the car.
Okay.
Got
So
it.
I would say the next 30 to 45 days is just a window of opportunity where, as the market is transitioning, you're going to see people that are like freaking out, like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm overpriced. I don't know if it's my agent. And 9 times out of 10, the seller's going to be in denial that it's that they overpriced the home.
Right.
So you're going to have to call the agent and figure out the seller's situation. And that's where I'm saying over the next 30 to 45 days, if you are going and writing offers on the MLS, there is a window of opportunity. Just remember, it's quality over quantity right now. Don't go and submit 40 offers in a day. Really double down. And I would tell you the max, 10. If you can go more than that, great, but they need to be very precise.
What are your conversations right now with agents to give you the deals before they hit the MLS?
Yep.
Is it changing? Is the conversation changing right now?
So-
are you working with some of these stats? Are you working with some of these fears? Is there fear? Or is it finally hit agents that they can't? It's not an here's the thing, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, the sky is falling." The sky's not falling.
Right.
The issue is we've been shooting up like a rocket. At some point, the rocket runs out of fuel and it just kind of coasts.
Yep.
Right? It's not like it's going just because we've been on this big ramp up. It's just going to fly to the ground and die. It's in space. You know what I mean? It's floating around. It's just not going towards Mars or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, this analogy is freaking killing right now. I love it.
It's like my slots.
But
They're
it's
good.
but it's like, like literally, I think everybody's like,
the market's about to crash. We're in a recession. We're freaking out because of this, and that. It's all bullshit.
there's a lack of inventory.
There's still a lack of inventory.
Listen to me. Hedge funds are buying everything between 100 and 500,000.
Yep.
They're buying like 20% of it.
Yep.
All right, and builders are slowly building.
Yep.
Every single agent, and I have a lot of buddies that sell these new build properties back from my real estate agent days. All of them are like, we have nothing to sell. We sold them all. We're just waiting for them to build it.
Yep.
Like they're moving us to new communities because now they've got the infrastructure for the new community, and we got to go there, and we'll sell that out really fast, and it'll be no problem. Everything's still selling out because there's no inventory.
Yep.
That's it.
The thing that we're seeing with
And people are making more money because people are understanding that you can work from home. You can like subcontract whatever skills that you have in anything on the internet now and get paid instead of working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
People can do logo designs. People can do whatever. They can do coding. They can do all sorts of different things from home that they can learn that they're doing now. People aren't working these regular manual labor jobs. You see signs everywhere that people are hiring. People don't want to do it.
Right.
Because they're doing work from home. They're making money from home, doing other things, leveraging.
Yep. Absolutely.
Good.
Let's do 'em.
Because I can keep going. This is fun. Brent, for off-market properties, EJ asked, Brent, for off-market properties from realtors, should we call buyer or seller agents? For off-market, I mean, usually the listing agents I like calling, the buyer's agents typically are going to have a good stable of cash buyers that they're working with. Not to say that you don't want to call them, because you do want to call them to add them to your cash buyer database, EJ. But I would focus first on people that are listing flips, because they represent people that have already done the remodels, and that's the people that you want to attract.
Yep.
So I would just go on Zillow and call everybody on there that has done flips. And well, no, that's more for your cash buyer. I'm sorry. Go for the properties that are really ugly on Zillow, the lowest ones. So I was a little bit confused. I'm confusing there, EJ. Go for the ones that are the lowest price in the market, that are really rough, and call all those listing agents, because those listing agents typically find more of those listings, or they work in those communities where they're known to sell these properties that need a lot of love. So reach out to them first. And then the ones that do flips are more for your cash buyer database.
Yep. And even this one right here too. So if they're bringing you off-market properties, because he says from the realtors, just work with the person that brought it to you. They're more likely to be able to get the deal cheaper than if you were to go to a buyer's agent. So just be mindful of that.
Yep. There you go. Man, can we do wholesale in New York, and how to find investors, hedge fund guys? Yes, and yes. How to find investors. I mean, get the cash buyer pack and TTP Insider for sure. It's going to show you exactly how to do that. Hedge funds, you need to start being loud about wanting to find people that represent hedge funds. Go into all of the Facebook groups. Go into whatever chatters. There's probably some connection. Do you think, is there any discords that you could find for that? Or
So
no?
I haven't found a Discord that's good for hedge funds yet, but I will tell you the best hack for finding a hedge fund buyer. There's two processes. Number one, go into a Facebook group that is focused on realtors. So remember when I tell you guys to go like in public Facebook groups to try to find like realtors, this is not going to be this process. When you're going for hedge funds, you find a realtor specific Facebook group.
That's right.
You go in there and say, hey, working on some deals for hedge funds. Who should I know? Who represents hedge funds?
I love it.
You're going to get a bunch of realtors and recommendations as to who represents hedge funds, where the hedge fund is the client for the realtor. The second thing is, if you're in a public state, tax records, whoever it is that's buying the most properties, you can sometimes see by the LLC, like Arizona, it's like RSX III residential, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You could reverse engineer that, see who's representing them in those deals on market, and those are also the buyer's agents.
Yep. And meetup groups.
Yeah.
Meetup groups,
Networking
RIAs,
events. Yep.
networking events. If anybody has hedge funds here, in New York, reach out to me in here in the comments for sure. Yeah. Just start looking for them. I mean, just start going out there and being proactive and posting about it. Travis, I'm starting to reach out to agents. Boom. I just had one send a new listing that's the cheapest listing in town, in quotes. But it's still average price per square foot. Anything I can do with that? Ball's in your court here.
Starting to reach out to agents. I just had one send new listing, cheapest listing in town. It's still the average price per square foot. I would just tell them that you are an investor that needs to make money on the deal. So if it's the cheapest listing in town, but it's still the average price per square foot, I would just educate them. This is what we go through a lot in the course with patience and education. You need to be patient and understanding. Agents are not familiar with what a deal is, so you literally need to break it down and walk them to the finish line and say, this is what a deal looks like. Then what you're going to do is educating wise, that's going to be explaining exactly what it is you're looking for, whether it's for like what your buy box is, what your end buyer is, what your process even is. You would be surprised how many times we have to actually go in and explain to an agent what our wholesale process looks like, and it's completely fine. They just don't know what they don't know. So when you blindside them by just doing an assignment contract after the fact, then it's when the problem arises. So patience and education is very key with this.
Albert, what do you think? Anything to add?
Yeah, with the verbiage there, that's the cheapest listing in town. I want to make sure that there's a distinction between cheapest and best deal in town, best listing.
There you go.
Cheapest doesn't necessarily mean it's a good deal. It just means it's the lowest price. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have a deal that works.
Right.
So make sure you define those very clearly to that agent when you're talking to them. Like, hey, I'm not looking for just cheapest. I would have bought it. I'm looking for the best deal, as Ryan said, to make money on.
That's it.
That's what we do.
Awesome.
Sorry, I'm being a realtor really fast.
That's fine. Let's go.
Look at me. I'm a realtor.
Liana, how much earnest money deposit should you have when starting in this business?
That's a great question.
Well, it just depends. It depends on if you're going direct to seller, if you're going through a real estate agent. A real estate agent's typically going to want 1% of the purchase price for your earnest money deposit. When you go direct to property owners, depending on your state, you got to find out if you even need earnest money to make a valid enforceable contract. Mm-hmm. If you do, it's typically called something called consideration. So what I would do, Liana, is just Google, do I need consideration for a valid real estate contract in whatever state?
Yep.
If it's none, then 0 is how much earnest money you need. If it's yes, you do, you could put $1. It depends on what the seller wants.
Right.
That's all. So if you're going direct to seller, if they want 1%, then you got to negotiate that, or you got to find that 1%. If they don't care, then put $10. I mean, people put $0 on a lot of deals. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on if you need consideration for a valid contract. So definitely Google that and check that out.
For sure. And also, don't be scared if you don't have it. Just work with somebody that does.
That's it. Yeah. If it's a smoking hot deal, find a way. You'll find a way. That
We're not advising robbing banks, but...
And listen, do not let that hold you back.
Literally. That is the easiest problem to solve.
Massive action mindset. What formula do you use to make offers for on-market properties?
Yep. Great question. Okay, bear with me here. So we take the ARV, we times it by 93%. That 93% formula that we go off of has 7% right off the top, which is 5% in commission on the back end. Now, be mindful that if you're an agent yourself, you obviously don't have to pay a listing agent. And if you're an investor that does a lot of deals, or if you're selling it to an investor that does a lot of deals, a good investor will have an agent that will do it for 1%. So we're shooting for just raising the bar here by saying 5%. That 5% is just being conservative, that 5% commission is going to have to be set on the back end. The 2% remaining is closing costs and holding costs. So we have 93% off the top. We minus it by the repairs. We minus it by the desired profit of our end buyer. This is going to vary. A lot of times they want between 15 to 25% cash on cash return. Some of them are looking for a flat dollar amount. Some, it just depends on the deal. Like I will tell you with the flips.
What does cash on cash return mean?
Albert?
Cash on cash is basically how much cash do you have to spend in order to get the profit back. So
are
for an
you
example,
talking about, you're not talking about, are you saying, what if they use hard money?
That's what I'm saying. So if you use hard money, right, you're going to be out of pocket a certain amount of dollars per se, right?
You got a 20% down. You got 50,000 rehab.
Rehab.
Yep.
That's what you're talking about. Is
Exactly.
Cash?
So that's
Okay.
cash that
So
you've
that's-
And they
actually
want to make
spent.
15 to 25%.
Yep, out of the bank.
I make it a lot easier. I just say they want to make 10%
For sure.
on the purchase price.
For sure.
On the ARV. What's the ARV? What's 10% of that? That's typically what they want with a $20,000 minimum.
Yep.
Let me tell you this, because there are a lot of people around the country that you're looking at properties that are 150,000 fixed up, 170,000 fixed up, 90,000 fixed up.
Right.
An investor wants 20,000 minimum. That's why a lot of people go, oh, well, ARV minus 70% minus repairs. Yes, that works if you are selling for properties under 100,000 or 150,000. That's an old way of doing it that was established in the early 2000s because properties were worth less then.
Yep.
Not worthless, worth less. 2 words, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash
Okay.
on cash is how much
It's
money did they put in?
Yeah, it's a very more detailed way of looking at
Yep.
it because I like to preach to the team and everyone. It's like, hey, know where your money is flowing. No, that's how you know how healthy your business is.
Yeah.
So our approach is very refined. But to your point, when I do quick math in my head, it comes out to about the same thing.
Yep.
You just get a little more detailed look.
Love it.
So just to recap, ARV
Yep.
times 0.93
Yep.
minus repairs
Yep.
minus desired profit of our buyer
Yep.
minus wholesale fee equals your price.
How much you want to make?
Yep.
Do you have a minimum?
So ideally we'd like to make a minimum of 10.
Okay.
But recently, I mean, full transparency, dude, we've had more on market deals. Our last 3, $400 assignment, $700 assignment, $1,800 assignment. But what I didn't mention is that we got commission on the deals.
Right.
So walking away with about like 7 to 10 grand in commission, those small assignment fees, it is what it is.
Adds up.
Yeah.
Do you think that those are smaller because of the changing market?
You got it.
Is it because of your buyers?
2 of them were hedge funds. 1 of them was just a very small assignment. So I would say I think it's more of the market, which obviously is reflecting onto the buyers. So
Is it the market because sellers are pushing up their price, which is shortening, shrinking your assignment fee?
buyers buying lower rather than sellers pushing.
Are
more.
they buying lower because they're worried the market is going to
Yes.
go flat or
Yes.
go down, and they're worried that things are more expensive?
I haven't talked to a buyer that's
Yes.
worried about it going down. The buyers we're talking to is more of it's like flatlining. It's getting back to normal. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I'm not really too concerned of it.
Got it. Okay.
From my perspective as the flipper and end buyer, things gotten more expensive as well. So my margins.
Give me a what?
I just went through one of the projects. I'm 2 months into this project, right? New one, different one.
Yep.
I had 2 price hikes on my cabinets in that time. So I have to now order it earlier because the supplier was nice enough to tell me, hey, I'm raising the price on June 1st.
Yep.
Order it now and I'll honor the old price.
Yeah.
So things are going up. So as an end buyer, I want it to be steeper. And because as more inventory pops up, right, buyers have more options to choose from. So now I understand, hey, my house they don't need to buy mine. I need to make sure that I flip it so they want to buy mine.
Yep.
So therefore, I'm spending a little more, making it a little nicer, and I got to make sure that they got time to choose from. I have to factor in those costs. Like you said, long-term vision, you got to protect yourself.
That is huge for
That was a huge
anybody
nugget.
flipping there.
Huge
They
nugget.
need to want to. This is design. This is why I highly, highly suggest that everybody get a female perspective on design. For real. If you're going to do some big time stuff, listen, if you're under 150, under 300, whatever, maybe not. But if you're in that 500, 700, million plus, $2 million flips, it needs to have a broad,
Yes.
it can't just be a bro house. It just can't be a bro house. And that happens a lot. I'm just telling
It's
you.
true.
I am just telling you. The bro houses sit on the market, and when these type of markets, when it's a want and not a need, it is the houses that appeal to everybody that win.
Exactly.
Everybody. You can't just go in and put the dark features and the sharp corners and the whatever.
You're talking
you know
about
what
my
I mean?
house, yeah, and here we go.
Yeah, that's it. You can't have Ryan's house. Okay. But when did you buy that house?
I bought it 2 years ago.
Did you right? And so you bought it in 2020.
Yep.
Right. And was it already flipped?
It wasn't flipped. It was just it was a 2012 build, and everything about it was definitely a masculine house.
Yeah.
But that's what drew me into it.
Yeah. But you were a single guy buying it. Right. Yeah. You get into those upper price points, it's typically a couple.
Has to be, yeah.
Right?
And more like you said, it's a broad style rather than a
It's
bro.
almost like you're flipping a boring house in a way. Like you're not going crazy with it, but you're kind of flipping very neutral because the buyer coming in at that price point will change it to what they want because they have the means. But if you make it too busy, you almost distract them from, oh, I could do this, to, oh my God, that's so ugly.
Yep. That's it. Humberto, I'm getting into wholesaling but have capital to flip. What do you suggest I do? Ugly houses, big checks for your first 12 months. Do not flip anything, Humberto. Seriously, don't do it. You will be totally distracted. And we're not talking about, listen, you have to come from this from a different perspective. It's not about doing deals. It's about building a business. You're building a business that sources discounted properties and will do so for the next 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years if you want.
Right.
Whatever it is. But you want to build something that's a servant to you. You want to get passive cash flow coming from your business. Now, if you want to build a flipping business, I completely understand that. But get your basics done first. Understand how to find these opportunities and what opportunities really look like. All right, this is your chance for the next 12 months to survey and to review all of the deals that are out there that you're sending out to your cash buyers, what they're doing with it and what profits they're making with it, what mistakes they're making, what wins that they're having, all of those things. You get that perspective. And so then you can go into this and really understand, okay, I've got this business that sources the deals. Now I want to get my creative side going and do some flips. But if you don't have that creative side and you just want to make a bunch of money so that you can go buy assets or build a company that's an asset and get a bunch of cash flow, if that's your goal, is to like have that freedom of schedule and it's not really to feed your creative side, I would highly suggest you just focus on building a wholesale business. I would. Because it's those creative times that end up losing us a lot of money.
For sure.
Yep. Shane, back again. This time he's driving. Shane, what's up, man?
Oh, no, I'm a passenger in the car. What's happening? Back again, day 3. You know I'm getting loud, baby. I got questions on questions. All right. So,
Go.
Ryan, when making the agent outreach, I'm also trying to do agent outreach myself. I'm working. I got these people. I randomly asked them. It's the same people from the other day, Brent. I asked them about seller finance on a house, and they said they had to see if the contract would allow subject to. Like, what does that mean? Like, is there a way that somebody's home contract doesn't allow a contract to be assumable? Like.
It's not that it wouldn't be assumable subject to, it's what's in the contract that you guys are already under contract with. So if you're under contract and you submitted something to the seller as a purchase agreement, it's not a creative finance agreement. So what you need to do is go direct to the seller, direct to the agent, whoever you're in contact with a sub 2 contract rather than a purchase contract. You want them to understand what the terms are rather than it just being, here's my purchase price, here's the close date. If you try to do that and then switch up on it and say, well, in the contract, I have the rights to go sub 2, it's going to be a mess. So I'd recommend just setting the expectation with them up front. That's the huge thing here. As long as you're setting the expectation with the agent, tell them like, hey, I think I could probably get the seller a little bit more in a price rather than my cash offer. Could we come in and talk about terms? The most important thing to remember with that is the agent's number one question on creative stuff, because they're not familiar with it, is how do I get paid? So just make sure you're understanding that 9 times out of 10 with creative deals, you're paying the agent's fee rather than the seller, because the seller's not getting a lump sum of money up front.
Yeah, you're typically getting it from the down payment or the buyer. Yep.
Okay, for sure. I was trying to make sure I understood that. And then real fast, one more, because I know we only supposed to do one question, but I got this. I hit up somebody yesterday for a quadruplex, which turned so fast into 10 units on me. And I was trying to figure out what is like a cap rate? Like, how do I figure that out?
Yeah.
What price do they want?
There's 2 of this 10 units, two quadruplexes and 1 duplex. Right now they have an offer for like $500K for all of it.
Why didn't they take it?
I have no idea. I feel like they just said that to try to get me to go higher than 500.
What's their bottom line and what's their timeline?
Timeline. So far, I haven't got the timeline yet. She's trying to make me talk to her husband, but he was at a dental appointment.
Got it.
So
a couple different things with that. You need to find out how much those units are making, what's their income, and then you got to find out what's their potential income if they're fixed up. And then you got to see how much what their bottom line price is. But the fact that if they're just floating it out and they're like, hey, yeah, give me an offer on this thing. We had an offer for 500. We didn't take it. So if you can beat that, go for it. And you look at this thing and you're like, okay, well, can you give me the rent roll? Can you tell me how much income you're getting from this? And they're like not giving it to you or whatever else. They're looky-loos. Don't waste your time. But if they're going to give you the rental income that's coming from it, then you can do that calculation and figure it out.
Yeah, they may even have a pro forma.
Right.
And if you don't know how to read a pro forma, find someone that does. Feel free to reach out to us as well. We're more than happy to help you out on multifamily. I think the right question is
you need to pre-qualify them more, Shane.
Correct.
That's what I was waiting for right now. The rent roll and what they said, the P&L, profit and loss statement for like the last 2 years.
That's it. And are they long-term leases? Are they short-term leases? Are they on separate meters? What is the utilities? Like what is the owner responsible for utilities? If it's none, because they're individually metered and it's on the tenant, that affects it. So find out if it's individually metered, and find out how long the leases are, the lease terms.
And also, too, if it's fourplex, duplex, are they all together? Or are they in separate locations?
All together. It's like right next to each other.
Is it in
Fourplex
Phoenix?
with a duplex right there. It's in Gulfport, Mississippi, I believe.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah, just get the numbers.
Okay.
Because I mean, 500,000 might be a decent price, but not if they're only getting, $300 per unit or something. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like 6. I was trying to get them with seller finance, and they were looking into it.
Got it. Just focus on ugly houses, big checks.
I know, but I'm a knucklehead, Brent. I gotta do it.
Listen, cash, then creative. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Healthy bank account.
You don't have to be a knucklehead.
I got you. I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna keep bothering y'all every day.
It's never a bother. Always a blessing, brother. Good to see you.
I appreciate it.
All right. See you, Shane. Awesome. Yep. Edgar, PropStream is now advertising. They have the MLS data back. Yes, they do. I had a conversation with them yesterday, and as of 9:00 p.m. yesterday, they are they've got their MLS data back. Their MLS sold. So the one thing that they say is they can't have it perfect for some reason. So it's like 99.9%. They affect it by like $1,000 or something. It's something goofy. They explain it in whatever video or email that everybody gets. But yeah, they've got it back, which is great. So I comp a lot for students. I've got like 4 or 5 comps right here that people want me to comp for my students. And so I'll go into PropStream and boom, it's so easy.
Interesting.
Their app is the best by far.
Really?
By far.
Really?
The data is pretty similar to Batch Leads.
Okay.
Batch Leads is where Jeremy, my disposition manager, and his wife Jackie, who's my lead manager, like pulling lists. They actually prefer it from Batch Leads.
Okay.
So I use both.
Okay.
But if somebody choose one or the other and you'll figure it out. It's one of those things where it's like you understand how to use one tool and you just keep using it because you don't want the learning curve of the other one.
Sure.
And I think that the app for PropStream just has a lot more money and a lot more experience behind it than Batch Leads at this point.
Fair
but
enough.
most people do the I don't know. I lost it.
Blanked.
Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Joe, do you have a $50 beginner course? We have a beginner course in TTP Insider for free. TTP Insider. Most people use their laptop or computer. That's what I was trying to go to, and not the app. So if you're on the move and you're doing a lot of comping and stuff like that, I would say use this. If you are using mostly your computer, Batch Leads is great.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do we have to negotiate a lockbox?
I mean, it's part of it. I mean, if it's a vacant property, I would suggest as a professional courtesy, we can install a lockbox on the property, put the keys in there so that you don't have to come out every single time we need to get into the property. A lot of them go for that.
I think if it's vacant, that's probably the best route.
Oh, yeah. You don't put a lockbox if anybody lives on there.
Yes.
Never.
I'm thinking like traditional side, and I'm like, Like,
No,
do you
like
go
the
at,
contractor
yeah.
lockbox,
Gotcha. Yeah,
not the realtor lockbox.
I was like,
so if it's vacant, primal for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Austin, how much should I offer on a property that doesn't have a lot of comparables and fixed comps? I've noticed that I tend to neglect leads like this.
I think your percentage chart's probably the best one on this, but that's just because I'm going on the fact there's no comps. I'm more curious what market this is. And then do you have that, graph I'm talking about? The one where it's like over a certain percentage?
Yep. The 66, 50, and 25% off Zillow.
Correct.
Yeah. Typically I would go with this, Austin. We'll pop that up. Right here.
Yep.
If the Zestimate is 250 or above, throw out 66% of that price, whatever the Zestimate is. If it's 249 to 100,000, 50%. If it's under 100,000, 25%. You should be pretty close. The issue that you might run into is it's too rural. If it's too rural, then you're going to have less buyers for it. If you have less buyers for it, the deals are going to be tighter, and you have to get them at a deeply, deeply discounted price. So make sure that the seller is cool with whatever price that you come up with, or is reasonable with what their expectation is. There you go.
Boom.
Crystal, from a buyer's perspective, what are buyer's criteria or a checkoff list of must-haves for wholesalers?
Spread. That's it. I don't feel like we have many buyers who are like, it needs to have a pool or it needs to have a split floor plan, because at the end of the day, as long as the numbers make sense and they could turn around and flip it and make money, or if they're buy and hold, as long as they can cash flow, they're good. So that's what I would give as that answer.
Crystal, listen, if you have a tremendous amount of buyers, you got a robust cash buyer database, you send it to all of them and see what they respond. Because here's the thing, if you kind of put them all into boxes, that's fine. Jamil talks about that a lot, about how they really understand what people are looking for. But I'll tell you, in our experience, when we send it out, we have people that are like, I will never buy in the East Valley. And then they want in the East Valley. They switched it up. They have a new crew there. They want to do it. I'll never buy downtown Phoenix. And then they're clamoring for this downtown Phoenix deal. I'll never buy outside of Phoenix. And then they want some deal in northern Arizona. So we don't try to, and Jeremy, my disposition manager, doesn't try to like put people in too many boxes. We blast it out to everybody and see how they respond, because people's strategies change all the time. So Crystal, what I would say is focus on building the biggest list that you can. Understand what people are looking for, have a relationship with them. It's going to be really important in the future, but build it really big and get the highest price for all of them and make them negotiate against each other.
Yep.
Enzo's back. Enzo's got a question now after a $73,000 celebration. He's back with a question. What's up?
Well, it's more of a statement to your point. I just wanted to say, I know I just said I had a $73,000 deal, but I'm in the process of doing 2 flips right now. The amount of time, money, and effort that have been put into these flips and taken away from my wholesaling business is ridiculous. We're gonna net, and it's fine. It's taken us 2 to 3 months. The market's changing. It's getting a little bit scarier, when I could literally just get on the phones and just make calls and make the same amount of money, if not more, in a lot easier fashion. And I've been doing this for 2 years. I wanted to take on my own flip. I thought I was ready for it. And the things that you don't know have really, really gotten in the way to getting back to my wholesaling business. So I just wanted to just comment on that.
Enzo, I love you. I couldn't agree more. I did the same thing. I mean, listen, that was my thing. I was like, yeah, this is great. But then you get into the flips and it's like a huge distraction. If you don't have a partnership, right? It's a monster distraction. And it's great and it's good and profitable. But I don't worry about deals, right? Enzo, we lock up these deals and we put them out and our cash buyers buy them and they're done. There's no risk, right?
Yeah.
There's no risk and we get paid in 30 days. When you take on a property and you're doing the flips, you risk your contractor's quitting on you. Your contractor's getting another job. Prices going up. The real estate market kind of leveling out. Yep. People going in and breaking it. You get this whole flip done and people break in and steal all the appliances out. And you're like, what is happening? This has all happened to me, guys. I'm not talking theory here. This is exactly what Enzo's talking about. If you just stay focused, focused on ugly houses and getting big checks for them, it's you probably honestly, Enzo, you probably could have done 2, 3, 4, 5 more deals, from the efforts that you would have saved if you didn't do the flips.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm nervous of how my wholesaling business is going to be when I'm done doing these flips. Because
Right.
like I'm getting these deals, but these are all previous leads. There's not many new leads that are coming in, and it's that lag indicator is really going to reflect in the future.
That's it. If the machine of lead generation isn't constantly going and adjusting and evolving and growing and adding to your pipeline of leads, it's always this. It's always this.
Yep.
Right. And then the problem with turbulence is you can't make plans. You can't hire the best talent, because the best talent's not going to deal with it. They want a rock solid foundation to work off of. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Enzo. That was a perfect example.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
We got to have him on every show. We should have an Enzo like segment each show. I love
Featuring
that.
Enzo.
That's great. Poverty Taco. What is open up escrow? Great question. So whenever you get a contract signed, you then what's called send it to the title company. And what they do is they open up the escrow. They look at, they put it in their database and they start finding what liens are attached to this property. So that's what opening up escrow is. It's simply sending your purchase agreement to the title company so that they can start their work. Yep. That's hilarious. Poverty Taco, and he's got like a cat that's like, what's up? Like, it's just great. I mean, I don't like the poverty thing, but.
From Michelle Rice. I printed everything on top Insider and have been watching the videos, but do you have a letter to send or for a postcard to send in mailers?
Yeah, Michelle, I don't. The reason is I want people to focus. I think if you try a lot of different strategies, it's going to distract you. But what I would say is if you've called them, they're not answering. Maybe you've texted them, you can't get them, and you want to send. I would say very basic. I've got 2 options for you. One is I would send whatever mailer is automatic through Deal Machine. Deal Machine sends out millions of direct mail a month, and they work. And so the only reason people would use them is because they work. So you can just click it in Deal Machine. It sets it up automatically and you don't even think about it, which is incredible. The other thing is if you're just growing this thing and you don't really want to commit to a big budget and you don't want to send out a tremendous amount, I would just literally get handwritten cards from wherever, like Amazon for super cheap. And I would simply write it out. I would just write out, I've been trying to get I know this out of the blue. I've been trying to get a hold of you about your property here. I'd love to see if you would consider an offer. Call me. And then your number, you know what I mean? You don't have to, or whatever you want to put in there. But that's what I would do as a strategy for mailers, either the handwritten or use Deal Machine. Don't overthink it. Don't reinvent it. Don't try to put together your own. Don't spend hours of time like putting together a flyer that you want to send out and think that it's going to like all of a sudden be revolutionary. Right. It's not.
You're spot on.
Are we bringing Edgar on? We got more questions. Edgar's ready. This is exciting. Huh? Let's get Edgar on here. Edgar!
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. It's great to see you.
Good to see you folks.
Where do you live?
I live in Melbourne, Florida.
Okay, excellent. Okay, great. So talk to us.
All right, so just a quick question. I'm trying to jump into this 75-day challenge, into this 90-day period of a surviving, struggling, whatever. So if I have a little money to invest in tools, what would be the kind of a basic good setup of tools to start with in the wholesaling business?
Yeah, love it. Are you going to be going, Edgar, are you going to be going to agents? Are you going to be going to distressed property owners? Or are you going to do a combination of both?
Well, I will try to do a combination of both.
Okay, great. Great. What would you suggest for going after agents?
For agents, I think Privy is phenomenal. I'm going to be doing a webinar tonight at 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be posting it on my social media if you follow me. But I'm going to be doing that for about an hour and a half. It's how to target on-market deals and utilize that. And then I also like Batch Dialer. I think if you can get a list of real estate agents and you could be calling, I think it's a great resource. But those are really the only 2 that I would start with. And I could even argue against Batch Dialer. I'd really say if I had to pick one of the 2, it'd be Privy.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Deal Machine, right? Driving for dollars.
Yeah.
Add him in there. Does a phenomenal job. And either prop stream or batch leads. And then a dialer, Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you gotta put a budget in for the numbers, right? For skip tracing the addresses. So anywhere from, typically it's about 14 cents for really good, accurate data through batch leads or batchskiptracing.com. And that's going to be your variable cost. Your other fixed costs will be Deal Machine at, I think it's like $50 if you use the TTP code. And then prop stream or batch leads or privy is right around that $100 a month. So you're $100 there, 50 there, 150 for a dialer. So you're $300 plus your skip trace. And I think if you get 1,000, it's $140 and start with 1,000. So for under $450 a month, you're going to have all the tools that you need.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump on it.
Let's get it. Good to see you.
Thank
All
you, guys.
right. Keep us posted.
I will. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to see you, Edgar.
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. We got.
Go ahead. Humberto.
I'm looking to get a distressed duplex or do a burr. I know construction myself. Just need to find a deal that makes sense. Any tips and advice? I still live with my parents, so I don't want to rent. Yeah. So get loud. Tell people what you're looking for. Kind of reverse engineer how you'd go and you'd find buyers once you have a deal. You are the buyer now, and you're trying to find the deal. I could promise you, if you get loud about it and you go on social media and you post into Facebook groups, you go to meetups and you tell people what you're looking for, you attract it. So I would just start getting that message out.
I would take a chapter out of Max Maxwell's book. He made his first $1 million in real estate living in his mom's house. Humberto, if you go out and you find a distressed duplex,
yep,
and you do the work and you burr this thing, you will make $0 in real estate this year. It'll be such a distraction that it will totally, it'll remove all other opportunities to build up your pipeline of leads. I am telling you, this is just what I've seen every single time people use this strategy. And I get it. It's the bigger pockets. It's the traditional real estate investor training is to house hack or do these burrs and to do all that. And I think it's great. And I think it's a great strategy. But if you want to build a $1 million real estate business that you can pull yourself out of and get passive income, you are pushing it back. You're pushing your start line way back. You're not even in the stadium anymore. You are doing something completely different. And that's fine if that's your strategy. But I just think if you take a year and you focus on finding all the best deals, selling it to cash buyers, build up a bank account of $75,000, $100,000, $250,000, and you build that discipline into understanding that you got to generate leads, convert them, and then figure out your exit strategy. That it's a smarter route. It's just a faster, smarter route. But if you want to go, if you know in your heart that you can't live with your parents anymore, and you're like, this is crazy, and I don't want to rent, so I need to get out of here. They're going to kick me out or whatever else. And you need to do this burr or duplex and find all this stuff. That's cool. But I think it's a big, it's a big time suck in the beginning of your business. It's just a lot. It's going to take up a lot of your energy.
Yep.
Dylan, let's get him on here. Captain Tank Top. What's up, man?
Nice.
Hey, man. It's really good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
You too. Where are you from?
I'm from Tampa, Florida.
All right. Florida representing.
In the house. Yeah.
That's
How you guys doing today?
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal, brother. It's good to see you.
Sun's out.
Really good to see you. Thank you so much for having me on. I want to be respectful of your time. I watch the show all the time. Big fan. I just wanted to get on here and ask you a question. I went to the gym this morning, so that's why I came straight from the gym.
I love it. You look swole, bro.
Dude,
I'm trying to catch up to you, man. So, real quick, just to let you know, a year ago, I was working a six-figure sales job. I left that. I started doing this business full-time, started my own company, and I mean full-time. I'm 7 days a week, 14 to 12-hour days,
Yep.
7 days a week. So
Yep.
I'm in it. I wanted to. One of the big problems that I'm coming across is that so I have VAs that are texting. I have VAs that are cold calling. I'm getting all the leads that are sent to me, and I'm
Yep.
reaching out to them. All I want to do is talk to people.
That's
The
it,
Brent
baby.
Daniels
Yeah.
mantra. The
That's
problem
it.
that I'm running into is that so I'm using a phone system that's integrated into my CRM. My phone system and my auto dialer that my VA uses, everything that I'm using to reach out to people is getting spammed almost immediately. Like I
Yeah.
literally just bought another phone number. I'm going through 3 to 4 numbers a day after roughly 2 to 3 phone calls. 2 to
Where
3 phone calls.
where
And
where
the
are they coming
numbers.
from?
So there's a software called Smartphone that integrates into my
Yeah,
CRM Podio.
smartphone.io.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and then of course,
I
like,
would try CallRail.
okay. The only thing,
Callrail.com.
yeah, does
See if
it?
their numbers. See, they might. It just depends on where they buy their data from, Dylan. And so if they're getting recycled and these numbers have already been marked as spam, it's going to instantly knock you down.
Right.
Yeah, my understanding is pretty much all of these numbers that everyone's buying are all coming from similar pools, and that CallRail is buying numbers from either Twilio or Pivlo. I think Smartphone is doing the same. I think CallRail is doing the same. Ready Mode, Batch Dialer.
You
all of
might
these.
also want to see, because you might want to see if their IP address is what's triggering it. Are they calling through the internet?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
VoIP
That's
phone
probably it
numbers.
too.
So you might have to do like what's that, VPN?
VPN.
Nord VPN.
Really, and that can help.
Yeah.
You could try it. I mean,
Okay.
that's the only thing that I could think of. It's not like the number, like that's really fast. If it's like 3 calls, that's really
Yeah.
fast for them to knock it down. Usually we switch it up every hour, but see if it's their IP address.
Okay, are you guys running into similar things in your business where obviously you have your acquisitions people that are calling people from your CRM? Are you running into issues with your numbers getting spammed very, very quickly, making it difficult for your acquisitions people to?
We noticed it when we were going in and calling through a CRM too. This was a couple of years ago, but I was starting to see the trend kind of when I thought cold calling was like on its way out. I mean, it still lasted an extra 2 years. I just didn't have I had the same struggle that you were when I was calling out of a CRM. So that's why we recommend going to a dialer specific.
Yep.
Okay, and then so my understanding, one of the really big advantages of having a integrated CRM, obviously it is integrated, all that information is updated automatically. Does CallRail integrate with your CRM?
We were using Smartphone when I was struggling, and now we just use Batch. I'm sure there's a way that if we needed to, we could have it like integrated where the call result would go into Podio, but it wouldn't necessarily be calling out of Podio, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and so I used Batch for many months. I've since switched as far as my VAs, when they were cold calling, and I've done it myself. And so I'm familiar with Batch. I was running into similar issues, with Batch, but apparently are you guys not running into that?
I'm not doing cold calling at this current moment.
I'm using CallRail and Mojo.
There you go.
Okay, and you guys are having good connection rates for your acquisitions people?
Yeah, no issues.
You still have to change the
We
number.
switch up the number every hour, but no issues.
Yeah. And I'm switching up the number, but now it's getting to the point where it's literally 3 calls. Like as soon as I buy a number.
What dialer are you using?
For my VA, the dialer is Ready Mode, formerly ZenCall.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be fine. It should, I would check the IP. I would check where you're getting your numbers, and you might want to test out Mojo.
When you say check the IP,
like switch
IP
it up, like
computer?
get a Nord VPN, like
get
one
a
that's
VPN.
more, that's like a VPN that's in the United States, like an IP address in the United States.
Yeah, if your cold callers are in another country, they're going to track their IP, and that might be coming across as scam likely.
I see. So when you guys are using CallRail in Mojo, are you guys needing to use a VPN?
I haven't had that issue.
Really?
Yeah. So I literally have no idea if that'll work or affect it or anything. That's the only thing that I can think is the carriers see a ton of calls coming from the Philippines or coming from Egypt or coming from, somewhere that's Maybe they've been tracking to see, where most of these calls coming from, and if we see that IP, we're just going to block it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You know
To
what
be
I mean?
honest,
There's a lot more economy coming from call centers in the Philippines than there is coming from Costa Rica or Mexico or some of these other countries. So maybe it is. I have no idea. I'm just trying to troubleshoot everything so that you can kind of round it out.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I mean,
And have your people start calling agents, their commercial numbers. You know what I mean? So if it's an agent has commercial numbers, I would go to Dr. Bill's realtor list. I would download all the agents in your market. Yep. I would call all of them and then send them to you to start building. And what you're looking for, Dylan, is you're looking for 25, bro. 25 absolute killers that are going to refer you 4 deals a year. Okay. That's what Jamil talks about. And Jamil's been doing this forever. He says that his best top referral people send him 4 deals on average a year. You get 25 of those. Those are 100 deals. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
And then you have no cost.
Yep.
And then it lasts for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Repeat.
No, absolutely. I mean, I love the reach out to agent and other wholesaler model. Yep. And so I'm not doing that currently. Everything I'm doing is all direct to seller. Pull in. I mean, I'm pull in 30 to 40,000 properties a month, marketing to them, all cold channel marketing, SMS, text, cold calling. But the big side, like I'm in the acquisition spot, and my big funnel is the fact that I'm calling 12 hours a day. I'm calling. But or maybe 10 hours a day. But my contact rate has just plummeted.
Sure.
And so, I mean, I'd be happy to try those. But if you guys are saying, hey, you're using Mojo, and are you using for your acquisition side? You're using Mojo?
They just call them from their cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
And then do you have any? I mean, I've heavily considered that. Do you have any concern?
Yeah, they call through it. They call through the line through call rail, so all the calls are recorded.
Oh, okay. But I mean, it's going through CallRail.
It's good. Yeah, but it's like their cell phone and it's a number and it calls through. So the caller ID is actually through CallRail.
Okay.
But it's just acquisition. They're just hand dialing.
Okay. And I can do the same. Like smartphone has an app on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can do the same thing. It's just that, I mean, it's still the same number outward bound and it's the same connection rate. It's still going through smartphone.
Yeah.
So if you guys are saying, hey, we're using, you said that, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Are you using for your acquisitions Mojo or CallRail or both for your acquisitions?
No. They don't use Mojo at all. They're use their cell phone and they call through a line through CallRail.
For their acquisitions.
Okay. Yep.
Man, if that's working for you, then I think I'm just going to try that and just to see.
Try it out. Keep me posted.
Okay. Hey, thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the information that you put out there.
Thanks for being on here.
I saw you, Ryan, at the Clever Summit. I mean, every time I saw you, you were swamped with people. So I think, Brent, you were down in my neck of the woods during the Clever Summit. So
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, good deal, man. Well, thank you guys so much. Yeah, thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day, okay?
See you, Dylan. Keep us posted. And that is it.
Let's go.
For Millionaire Before 30.
One last announcement. Yeah. We have our meetup next Tuesday. So if you guys are out here locally, El Jefe's Tacos and Sushi, Tuesday at 5 p.m. Steve Trang is coming and speaking. It's going to be super exciting. You guys do not want to miss it. We've got people flying out. So
awesome. I got to get to these 22 texts.
Yes,
and
sir.
We're rocking and rolling.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week. Love you guys. See ya.